Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Foxy, and on the show at this moment in time is Lord Jim, and we'll be shortly joined by the legend that is Southside. Evening, James.
Good evening, Ox. Evening, Terry. Fox in the background there, the techie team. Looking forward to a good wee show. Not bad, bro. Looking forward to the weekend and what's lying ahead for the Gers. Next one, right, I'm looking at it as one of our next 4 games, and I don't think we'll be far away from clinching it.
I don't know if nerves are excitement. I don't know what to describe it, but it feels real, dude, Jim. I think there was times when we sort of got close, blew it, got closer, blew it, and you think, oh, is this going to happen? But it feels real now, mate.
Aye. But personally, do you think this is probably the closest we've got to the season with Clermont? Do you think this is more realistic?
Oh, we're closer, mate, because we're further into the season. That went Pete talking about a month earlier, didn't it? With the games.
Aye.
What was it?
Ross County and Dundee.
We really blew it. And then we come back into it and we never beat them. And, we had another bite of the cherry. But it's in our hands now in the last 6 games, which is, as we keep saying, every show, the same words come up. Where we were when Russell Martin was there, it's remarkable. And I don't mean that because of where we sat in the league and the points and all that. I just mean how we felt, how low everybody was, and how flat everything was, mate.
I've listened to a few different kind of radio shows. I still think they're kind of dismissing us a lot to the rain peril, because I don't think we'll be far off it. I think some pundits are still being a wee bit thingy towards us, and I don't think we're going to do it. Well, let's see what happens.
Look, I know that they've had decent seasons, but 3 of these games, 2 away to Falkirk and 1 at home to Motherwell, mate, that's 50% of the games we've got left, right? So you fancy us to win them, and I'm that's with the greatest of respects to both teams who have played excellent football this season. Then you've got away to Hearts. In my mind, I've said that I always fancied us to go there and win as we improved, mate. In my mind, we should have beat Hearts at least twice this season, at least twice. Right, and we weren't great at Tynecastle, but in the second half, we'd done enough to maybe get back in the game and maybe see where it took us. But we got with something that was very making. We didn't. I'm not saying we deserved to win that game, but there was a big refereeing decision. I felt we'd done enough. We were mugged a wee bit at Ibrox, the circumstances. However, what's done's done, but I still fancy us to beat them, and I've said that consistently on the show. And then you're down to that place. The toss of a coin, mate. We've been there before. We've got a reasonable record in the last few years. Bizarrely there. We've had some bad performances, but we've also had good performances. So we'll take it. And everybody's assuming that both these teams are going to win all their games as well, Jim. That's the take I'm taking on it. And I'm scratching my head and saying, well, where's the form to suggest that?
Aye, you're right. As I'm saying, I think they're kind of looking at Hearts and Celtic and no kind of. Again, they better just watch over their shoulders if it's just coming behind them and in front of them and behind them. They'll be there.
Aye, but Sunday is just massive for momentum and everything. I know that because where it is, it just is, and it's a tick in the box, and all of a sudden it's another away game out the way. You know what I mean? You've done it, you've ticked it off, and you've got 5 games left, mate, and it's all right in your hands. We really couldn't ask for anything better than that, eh?
Aye, I think this Sunday's. I know we've said earlier recent weeks the biggest game of the season or that. I think this game on Sunday's massive. As to where we could possibly end up here, because it then puts us into. I think there's a wee break for maybe 2 weeks before we get back in again about it again.
Well, it's
I
a
think there's
semi-final. It's a semi-final.
But we've got a free week apparently, haven't we?
Aye.
So it'll be 2 weeks before we play again.
Aye, get it done, get the break. Hopefully some players fitter or get the radio and Ops come back fresh and you're playing at home against Motherwell, mate, you know. So it is what it is, but look, I'm up for it. You know, I know other people up for it, but the question we're asking, is Jim up for it? Let's hear for you, Fox.
Oh.
I know you think that I shouldn't still love you. I'll tell you that. But if I didn't say it, well, I'd still have felt it. Where's the sense in that? I promise I'm not trying to make your life harder. I'll return to where we were. But I will go down with this shit, and I won't put my hands up and surrender. There will be no white flag above my door. I'm in love, and always will be.
Just a wee medley for you, James.
I know, bud. I'm just dancing about the bedroom every my snakeskin shoes onto that there, by the way.
Oh, dear me. That one stuck with you, bro.
Oh, that's it. Don't worry, the crimson flag will be up shortly anyway, big man. You know what the cry was.
You've got to be careful on here, mate.
Yes.
You've got to be careful on me. Take it from me, I know, mate. I know. I get dug out for something I said 5 years ago.
But I just say the crimson.
Right. Look, the weekend we touched on, it wasn't a vintage performance, but we scored 4 goals, and in my mind we left a couple out there and we could basically 5 or 6, and you're saying we didn't play well. What are we looking for, Jim? Who are we kidding?
I know, by the way, I looked at I thought the Mikey Moore one, the one with Gazama, and I can't remember who else was it, man. The 6 years route man and they drove the ball straight at the goalkeeper. I'm the same as you. Dundee United, other than the 2 goals that they scored, created nothing against Rangers. Nothing. And both goals came for it. Again, I thought they kind of directed everything through the wee boy left back, but John Shooter again at the first goal. What is he doing? He's pushing the guy wide, then allows the guy to then get the dinghy on him by cutting back inside again. He's going to hit him when he's pushing him out wide.
I think the lack of pace is becoming a real issue, mate. He's come back into the team. He looks leaner. He came back in leaner, but he looks slower. I mean, maybe that's just my take on it. But more importantly for me, John, he looks somebody's void of confidence all of a sudden. And I don't know if it's been the injury or something in his private life. And yeah, but he just looks void of confidence to me.
I don't know if you noticed it when he came off at the park at the end of the game. His body language, you were saying that he just doesn't look as if he's. Maybe I'm been wrong in saying that he's not up for it. But for about 80 minutes in that game at the weekend, there he was the captain. And see the Nico Raskin situation. I'm going to bring something up.
That's another thing that gets me, Jim. See this if the captain's on the bench. At all football games, another thing, and he comes on and all this skiing on the armband. What is that about?
See the weekend there. We beaten again. The tackle on Raheem Sterling. Nico Raskin went bananas at the referee. Beaten lost the plot. Then drags the captain there. Starts skiing on pelters. Big Shooter still laughing and patting him on the shoulder. Big Shooter should be the one leading him, getting in his face for that tackle after booting the Rangers player prior to it for less. I don't know. I still think we're lacking that bit of toughness. So we are on the park. And see coming off the game at the end of the park, Tav rightly so taking him out of the plans. He just went right off the park, by the way, right up the tunnel. Wasn't he interested?
You know, I mean, it was a booking all day long. I mean, they played advantage, which was the right call. Let the move fizzle out and then called it back and booked the guy. I couldn't understand it. Couldn't understand it. Talking about people I can't understand. We'll be joined by our South Side. Evening, South Side.
Evening, Ox. Good to go with the white flag man tonight. And I'll say hello to everybody in the YouTube feed. I'm taking that'll be busy. So, aye. What's happening? All the way, we're going to win the league.
Yeah, mate. Why not?
That's me away, big man. See you later.
All right, Jim, I painted the flag for you. It's all right. I've changed the colour from white to blue. You're all right.
Thank you very much, brother. Good to see you, Southside.
Listen, it's in our horns. That's all you can really ask for, if you're honest, Southside. Obviously we've got some tricky fixtures. And again, I'll say it, I don't think it's exciting because of the split. It's became exciting because there's teams involved and it's close. It's nothing to do with the split. They can still try and spin it all they want. It's close because it's exciting because it's close. And arguably, there's 3 teams involved. It's nothing to do with the split. The split for me is a flawed system. Flawed system, Southside.
Well, it's down to us to exterminate the two, one above us and one below us. It's down to us to exterminate the two of them. Hopefully Motherwell will start this week, take something after them. We'll win it full cut. We're top of the league. Then we go to Tynecastle. We beat them that day and that's them gone. And the following week, hopefully that mob across the city's dropped something anyway, and then we can exterminate them that day and all. Then we can look forward to a party, mate. That's the way I'm looking at it. We just need to make sure we win all our games. If we do that, we'll be champions, and we'll probably do it with a game to spare.
Hi, Jim come up with a point, but look, we'll concentrate on Sunday's game, And where's the fear came from to play Falkirk? What's it came from? Is it because we're going to play in a plastics pitch, Jim?
Possibly, but I think a lot of minds will be going back to before the other one get chased out the door. That was actually pathetic performance. And again, they came to Ibrox on. They actually played no bad. They're not a bad football team on their day, but they've been proved recently you can get at them. But we just need to be right head-on to get in about them anyway, because there'll be a few of that division in their team. So again, let's do it. I mean, if the players don't grasp it now, man, they'll never grasp it.
Aye, well, you hope they're up for it, but you never know with professional football players now. And we're so close. Listen, I think Danny Rowe, we've talked about that in previous shows this week, Southside, but I think he's a guy that tried to drive standards up. Southside? No. And you come, Jim?
Aye, I think he's set standards. Aye, he seems to be calm and collective when he's dealing with the media. But again, we don't know how he is with the players behind the scenes, but he's turned an impossible situation into something that could end up being a dream.
Yeah. Southside, then you come, bro.
Aye. So the wee technical issue there. Yeah, you see him outside of the park. He's driving it. He's telling him to go up the park. He's coaching him for the side. Sometimes he wasn't happy. At the weekend there, we were sitting a bit deep. He was telling him to get up the park and all that. So he's no wanting him sitting deep. He wants to push the team up the park. And he'll just be a bit passionate. Sometimes he shows it on the sidelines, and other times he's standing just watching. But I think he's got his own ideas. I think he talks to them well. I think he coaches them well. There's a couple of players in the squad that are out about the picture, Brian. And it looks like they will stay out the picture at the end of the season. But the ones that he's been picking on a regular basis and keeping about the squad, the ones that will probably keep going for him. Well, listen, they should be going for him because they can see what's at the end of the tunnel here, and they can make themselves heroes. And this is what it's all about. So they need to make sure. Listen, Falkirk's played well. Give them credit. They play nice football. They're tidy. They're neat. They've had some really good results this year against other teams where he expected them not to win. They play a style and a brand that the manager stuck by, where he's changed his philosophy altogether from what he used to be like. And he's unearthed a few good players and made them into better players. But listen, that's Falkirk and that's good for what John McLean's done. But we've got to go there on Sunday and make sure that we don't come back with any less than 3 points, and that's all that matters. No matter how we do it, I'd like to think we should be able to take 2 off them. We come back with a 2-0 victory, that'll do for me. Plastic surface, gives you problems, but it doesn't mean that you can't win on it. And when it gets to the stage it's at now, they're going for a league title, and we probably have to play there twice, as we know. We want to get this one out of the road and get the 3 points, and hopefully by the time we go back there, it will matter.
Jim?
I'll settle for coming down the road with 1 better than them, Southside. That's just where we are now. I'll take another 5-6 1-0 wins. Don't think we'll need the 6 wins right enough. But I said earlier on, I think 4 will be enough to get us, mate.
It obviously depends, mate. But look, we have to start, we have to win. We don't want to put ourselves under any pressure we don't have to do. No winning at the weekend would do that. So for me, it's a must-win game. I keep saying it, I'd like to win 2 halves and win the game. I would like to think be at least the 2 goals are Southside. I'm not going to say, of course we'd want more, because goal difference could be a factor. But first and foremost, you want to win the game. Jimmy?
Right, let's get the game won. That's the main thing. Are you taking the trip up there Sunday, Southside?
Aye, Jim, aye.
Good on you, big man. You deserve it. You're everywhere else anyway.
It's not the biggest dig runs, is it? You know, what is it? 7,700 or something at odds, is it?
I don't know. I just know we don't get a big ticket allocation for it. I think it's about 500 and something leagues. 500 odd tickets just to behind the goal to the right hand side. Although there's a few bears managed to sort of go in their end and then come across into the Rangers end the last time we were there. Danny Roll's first game against Falkirk, I believe, in it. So
Oh no, he drew with him, didn't he?
Did he?
Aye. Drew at Ibrox, didn't
he? But listen, at the end of the day, we've got to. The players know what's in front of them. We'll know what we've got today by the time we get to Sunday. So for me, it's all the players.
Aye, odds just under 8,000, mate. Just under 8,000.
Outside, I heard you the other night there saying about that mob that they were possibly up to regarding the tickets. If you look at that opponent, take it that you don't get anything in there. It's got to be looking at this split, and out of 3 games, there's a potential of probably having just over 1,000 fans. I mean, they try to encourage Scottish football, and they're possibly at the most going to have 1,000. They knew it as it is, because you don't know what they're going to use. I mean, it's pathetic.
I get your point, mate, about the away allocations and how when you go to Tynecastle, you go to Falkirk twice, 500, was it 800 at Tynecastle, 500 at Falkirk game, and then whatever that mob try is. Yeah.
It's only 564 or something at Tynecastle.
I don't think it's as much as 800.
No, it's 564 or something. You got to remember, as much as I hate saying it, but the corporate mob will be there or in about this and all. They get their tickets and whatnot because they put in the big money, and they'll all be getting a share of the tickets and all, which will cut allocations for some people and all. But if I applied for the 3 games, it's only, I think it was only gold members that could apply for the last 3 games there. So we'll see what we get if the time comes. But I know they're trying to hold off tickets, but we've put the allocation in for it. I don't think Rangers will be stalling for any of their nonsense. We get 2,500 for that dump up the road, and that's what we should be getting, and that's what I believe we will get. But they're trying to pull a stroke at the moment, but I don't see one.
Watch your space on that one. Right, we get the phone lines open, gentlemen.
Right, let's hear for the people.
Yep, because we are the people. Let's hear from
Always.
you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yes, let's hear for you. Your thoughts. Big game. Are you happy? Are you nervous? Or are you concerned? I'm happy, but nervous, if that makes sense. Southside.
I'm not really that worried about it. I've got a feeling that we'll come up here on Sunday and we'll play with a bit of confidence. By now, we're probably we've got good momentum getting into these games. I know always we've played for 90 minutes. That's the only thing that sort of gets to me. But listen, just got to go there and make sure we score the first goal. They've got a couple of players that can hurt us. Maybe it's done well this season for them with Barney Stewart, striker. Been playing well for him, so you want to maybe keep an eye on him and not be giving him any free sort of space in the box. But I believe he'll pick the right defence going forward on Sunday. I think Shooter will come back out, and I think it'll be Fernandez and Giga. They'll start. I'd like to hope and think that Sterling will start, but if he doesn't, then it'll be Tav. But I'd like to hope Sterling comes in and plays. And obviously it'll be Magoma on the left-hand side until Romans can come back before the end of the season, unless he's out definitely, and we'll find out soon. But apart from that, we should be pretty strong across the defence, I'd like to think, and it's down to the rest of the players, midfield to front, to get there and make sure that we get the result. I'm looking forward to it on Sunday. It's just a pain it's an early kick-off again. I know all players and a lot of the players have spoken in the past, and they don't like these 12 o'clock kick-offs at all.
No, I know. I don't know if I'd rather have the 12 o'clock than some of it. What was it, man? Was it a cup time of 8 o'clock on a Sunday night, wasn't it? I think I'd rather have the early one than that late one. I think they've lost the plot, and I'll tell you why I think they've lost the plot at sometimes. In all leagues, I think they've lost the plot for supporters, Jim. Yeah?
Aye. It's crazy. Again, I like to put my tuppence in about these games that we've got. We've got to go and play them. As I said earlier on, win them. But my issue with them is, out of the first 3 games, they're playing before anybody else, which I don't think is right. We could have easily played one of these Saturdays instead of having a midweek game. I just think that's my issue with these. We know we've got to play them. We've got to play the other teams.
What are you talking about?
The split games. The first two.
The first two
They're
games.
getting a run on anybody.
All right, so they play before we do because
Aye. I don't think it's right.
And you're still going to go and play where you play Saturday and Sunday. You make every game you play at the same time, or the telly will dictate different. Mate, you sign your deal with the devil with the telly, and they dictate, and that's the problem.
Well, you've dictated the Hearts game. That's for that one's game.
I think it's crazy. Monday night and a bank holiday, yeah. I don't understand it. But there you go. I just don't understand it. Again, people have got a weekend and then they've got their work on a Tuesday. Yeah, I don't understand it, Jim. I really don't. Southside?
Yes, bank holiday Monday's no ideal. Especially for a lot of people that travel far and wide and that support Rangers and might be lucky to get a ticket and that, and they might struggle with getting about when the bank holiday, and they might have to be back, and people that come across the water, you try and get to the games, and people come up from England and that. regular. A bit inconvenience for them. Although the allocations we're going to get aren't going to be big, because it's Tynecastle. It's no helping the situation, but Bank Holiday Monday isn't a great idea. We could easily have played that on the Saturday. I think that mob's playing on the Sunday. I don't know why they couldn't have just made us play on a Saturday. But TV's dictating. Obviously, the police have got a lot to put an input into it as well, I believe. The same when they were picked for telly, Fall Cup game against them, it's perhaps us on a Sunday against Motherwell. Listen,
that Motherwell game's not even on the telly.
aye, we just have, you know what? They can make it as hard and awkward as they want. We're still going to play the games, and you know what? They'll make it extra special if we can get this league win. Ibrox are up there at the Chamber of Secrets. If we can win it either there or at Ibrox in the home game against Hibs, then it'd be hilarious to see the state of that mob up there when Hearts travel the last game of the season and the two of them have got nothing to play for.
It could be comedy gold, but we've got to keep winning. Yeah, and it starts on Sunday, you know. And obviously, there's speculation that two of the January signings might not be available the weekend. You know, we'll wait and see what's confirmed. And we just can't catch a break, but that's football, Jim.
Right, that's football.
Southside.
I think I've heard a wee somebody said to me that Nadiri might not be as bad as expected.
I'm hearing that, mate. I'm hearing that.
Might miss this, obviously miss the game at the weekend, but could be back in a fortnight. But we'll find out when we get there after the manager when he speaks. But I've heard that it's a good possibility that he'll be back in a fortnight, so that would be a big bonus. I know he's not scoring a lot of goals, but he works hard, contributes to the team. And if Majowski can come in and get his run and plays two up front, then I'm sure he'll be. He is a natural finisher, Majowski. You could tell by the way he took his goal at the weekend. And he'll want to come in and produce and get on the score sheet. The only problem is he'll not work as hard as Nadiri does in that, and maybe make space for others. But listen, if he hits the back of the net a couple of times, when we're going to win, it'll no matter about his work rate. End of the day, it's about scoring goals and getting the result. But aye, a wee bonus if Nadiri doesn't, his injury isn't as bad as first fear talks.
I'm just hoping that we have Romans and Nadiri fit for the Motherwell game. I'm in my mind, I've got them wrote off for the weekend, Jim. I'm hoping they're back fit for the Motherwell game. And it's unusual, and I know you struggle, mate, with being positive. You know, but I'm looking at my glasses half full, mate, not half empty, yeah?
You're right. Southside said there at the weekend there, if he misses this weekend and back for the next fixture, then all the better.
Aye. But we'll see where it goes. Look, they've both been good for different reasons. Romans has looked a class player, Southside, and Big Nadiri I don't want to put him down as just enthusiastic, but he scored a couple of goals. He's been involved in making goals. He's caused problems for defences. You know, the own goal against Hearts. You need to credit him with that as well, just because he's just got a positive attitude, isn't he? And I thought he actually led the line for the first half very well. He was winning headers, trying to get involved, working hard, got his goal, mate. If you like, a sniffer's goal, yeah. Good gene to get for a centre forward. And I thought that was arguably his best performance for us in 45 minutes there at the weekend.
He had a good performance. I thought he played well against that mob across the city in the first game, in the league game, the 2 weeks game. I thought he played well in the first half and that. He worked hard and he was in about it. But he's had some no bad performances. But as a striker, you always look for, is he on the score sheet? And he hasn't been. But listen, I think in time he will show that he is a good player, and I think he will start scoring more regular. He's no longer in the door. He's been playing what is it, second division in Germany as well. We've flung him in. He's been starting now. He's trying to form a partnership with Chimiti. And it's about winning every week, and he's getting the pressure flung on him. And listen, he seems to be handling it pretty well. And listen, I've been quite happy with him, and I think he will go on and be a successful player for us. So I'm not too worried about that. But no, I think if he's out for a couple of weeks, if he doesn't make it back, I think we'll notice it. But that's why we've got another striker there, and hopefully he can come in. But I like his movement. I think he works hard for the team. It looks like if we probably create more chances. I think if he gets a chance at Chimiti go in the second half, I think Nadiri scores there. So I think if we can put him into the position of chances in front of goal, I think we might see a better return for him. But he took his goal well. Asgard done well to get the shot off. It was going in the top corner. It would have been a peachy goal. Goalie got onto it, and he was there. But a poacher should be sniffing about the box, just looking for something to fall his way, and he did, and he gets his reward. So I was happy for him to score on the weekend and get back in the score sheets. It's been a long time, and he's playing, his hard work and his efforts probably merited it. And then obviously he's got a slight injury now, so hopefully if it's not too bad, then we can get him back. He can maybe contribute before the season's out and goals up.
Yep.
I think the way the goals have been spread through the team the last few weeks, it'll maybe take a bit of pressure off him, Chimiti and Tim, because where the goals have been coming from, I think it's been actually heartwarming watching it, the amount of people we're actually getting in boxes now and the chances win. I mean, as they said at the weekend there, they could easily in that second half another 3 or 4 goals in the second half alone the other day. But it's been good to see the spread of goals in recent weeks. It's maybe taking a bit of pressure off the boy Nadiri and Chimiti, but Chimiti should be busting the net for that one the other day there, man. That's what you want a striker. I've seen on a lot of forums that saying that Miofsky needs to pull his finger out and step up here. I think Chimiti's the one that needs to pull his finger out and step up here, because it's not as if he's not been getting the chances.
I hear a tune coming on in the background again. Southside, you hear it? You hear the flag getting raised again?
For the chances he's missing.
I think he's what you've got is your classic, mate. He's not a great finisher. We've seen that, mate. He's not a great goal scorer, right? He's a scorer of great goals. And you're right, he should have done better at the weekend. He had 2 opportunities, he's got to take one of them. And it's all about timing and when you get your goals, yeah? And if he gets one of them, I think am I right in saying that they went 4-1 at the time? Was it 3-1? I'm trying to think back now. But it's when you get your goals, and what big goals they are, you know. And look, if he gets 2 doubles against the teams he scored the goals against this season, mate, and we win the games, mate, I'll no matter he's not scored a goal against anybody else. Southside.
Listen, he's young. He's given me a sort of big price tag that we sort of paid for him, but he had a couple of good chances, Jam, as you said, and you'd expect him to take them. I mean, a lot of people moaned when Dessers couldn't finish 3 chances off when he was getting them. At times when he was in the team, but listen, if he scores against the teams that he's been scoring against before the end of the season, and he takes Hearts and Celtic out, then I'll be happy with that, you know. But you need to get more out of him. Whether he's here in the summer, we'll find out. Somebody comes in, wants to pay decent money for him, then I'm sure we'll maybe ship him out the door. If the money's right, then we'll look for somebody else. That's the nature of the game. But I'd like to think that he'll contribute. He's physical enough. He can hold the ball. He's got a couple of wee tricks. He's been physical. And you can see it in his play. He's making space for others. His link-up play's not too bad. And he's starting to try and form a partnership with Nadiri. And obviously, hopefully, he'll stay in the team to the end of the season and they can name it. If no, you'll need to go with Mayakovsky if we're going to play the two all the time. I think we will go with two most of the time. Why not? It's been working. And the system's been allowing players to show a bit of freedom, like Mikey Moore getting freedom. And Asgard's sort of managed to put himself back in the team, scores a goal, gets an assist and whatnot. So, and it's still not enough for some people, and it's still not enough for me either. So I think you should be trying to dominate games and running them, and doing what Mikey Moore does, pick the ball up deep and go running at players because he's got the ability. But listen, we are where we are. We're in with a good shout, and I just think it's there for us. It's really there for all these players. The support will believe it. When we're there every week to the end of the season, the away games will be chanting and singing our reeds off to get them over the line, and it's down to the players to put the effort in and just make sure that they get the goals that's needed to win us the games. And that's all. And I believe if we can get the 4 wins and a bounce after the split, after this game on Sunday, we need to make sure that we make sure we get these 3 points first and foremost. And then after we come back for a wee break in Spain, hopefully we're ready to go, and we'll chalk up 4 wins, and that should be enough to see us through, hopefully.
I thought actually somebody done okay apart from the finishes at the weekend. I thought he was one of our better players in the second half. Without being outstanding, Jim.
Aye, I thought he linked up. I thought he taken the ball in well and kind of spread it wide to weak his armour again. I know I've been critical with him, but I thought that was one of his better games at the weekend.
I thought he was my best player in the second half. That's man.
Aye.
We've been really critical at times. And you've got if you criticise Southside, you've got to praise, ain't you? Look at me when you get your Super 6 up. I was full of praise.
Aye. I did say the other night, Tuesday, I think I was on that. I had to praise him for his second half performance when he came on. He done really well. He was at it, which he's not been for a few weeks, and maybe is it better him coming on as an impact player than starting? That'll be interesting to see, because Scove Olsen obviously took a lot of criticism. I don't know whether
Deserved. You think it's deserved, mate?
I think if you take away the price tag and you don't think about the money, he's an elegant player. He hadn't been losing the ball. He was playing players in. He had a nice pass on him. He was like, when Sterling was getting by him and that, he was finding him. He was putting wee balls in for him to put balls across. He's had a few assists. He's possibly the player. Didn't really concentrate too much on his career before he came. I knew the name. I know, but Giovanni tried to buy him at the time when he was a manager. I think we probably thought he would go buy players a lot more, be that type of player. I think if he could up his goals, it would probably take the pressure off him. So if you sort of forget about it might cost you £8.5 or £9 million, whatever it is, it's been muted. He hadn't been getting the ball away apart from the game against Dundee United where he was slacking a few of his passes, but apart from that, he knows where to be. He was available. But when you're paying that amount of money, you're wanting to make one influence games, be the difference maker. He's 26 years of age, so he's got the experience. He's got a lot of caps for his country. So, listen, I don't know. It's maybe take him a while to settle in and then he might come good. It depends. I don't know. Maybe if we tweak the system slightly next season when we're changing the squad again a bit and we've got maybe better quality players, would that help him bring him on as well? That'll be down to the manager and Kavanagh and that to look and see if they think, well, manager first and foremost, to see whether they think they're going to stick the money out for him or not. Interesting to find out, but I'd like to think that in the next 6 games after this game, he starts to have an impact, and then we could judge it maybe for there. But whether that will be enough to influence a move, or whether we maybe use the money wisely elsewhere, it'll be down to the manager and the coaching staff in the background. Maybe the players might not even want to be here. They might not want to come back in the summer. Maybe no one doesn't like the football. Maybe just doesn't like it, the environment. I don't know, but he's not doing enough. But he's been out 13 times. But for whatever reasons, he's taken them off. We're no privy unless he's carrying a slight injury or whatever. I don't know, or he's just take them off because he's not doing enough. And certainly Gassama came on there at the weekend and certainly showed him up. He put in a lot more effort and he was on it on Saturday. So there's one or two spaces out in the team that are up for grabs, and it's down to the players to go and grasp it. Do you think he'll start? Do you think he'll start at the weekend, Ox?
If he's starting, it's not down to form, mate. At this moment in time, I'm going to pay 8 or 9 bob from me. Yeah. It just doesn't look a good fit. But he can make his all eat my words in the last 6 games, mate. But I don't think he's starting at the weekend. I really don't. I think the manager hooked him for a reason at the weekend. Jim?
I think the manager showed a lot of faith in the guy. And to yet, I don't think he's gave us anything back. I know you're saying there side about him no getting the ball away. He's not doing enough with the ball when he gets it. That's what my take on it is. But at the weekend there, I thought he was ridiculous at the weekend there, and I was surprised that he lasted the 45 minutes. I'm with you, Ox. I don't think we're paying 8-9 million for the guy. No chance. Don't know anyway. But he could turn out and beat the match winner and get us a league.
He's not done enough, mate. He's not done enough, you know. And I know he's not played a lot of football, but he's played about 10 games for us, mate. No, he's been involved. He's maybe not played the full games. You can tell he can cross a ball, and we've seen him with a couple of shots, and that's his game. I'm sure Albert's going to touch on it. He took the time to study him in previous teams, and he'll inform people what he thinks. But I can only critique what I've saw, and what I've saw so far over the piece, I've not been impressed. Has he had moments? Of course he has. He was involved in the 2 tremendous Chermiti goals, but they were Chermiti goals. I don't know how much the cross was. I mean, the crosses were good, but the header against Hearts and the overhead kick against them, mate, I don't know if the cross becomes an assist. But I suppose if it doesn't happen, you don't get a goal Southside, eh?
Well, I say if you take away the price tag, that's sort of what you might have to pay for him. Has he been any worse than Asgard? You know, somebody went out and paid £4.5 million for. If we're getting Scove Olsen for about the £4 million mark, would he have been doing enough?
No, I don't think
the ball, he keeps the shape, he doesn't give the ball away, he plays nice passes, through passes now and again, keeps the ball moving. You know, time will tell on it. I don't know. I think
if you paid £4.5 bob for him, he's not doing enough.
I'd like to think we could bring back Finlay Curtis and try and develop him into a football player. I think he would give you more going forward. And Scove Olsen's a lot more experienced, or has got a lot more experience than but Finlay Curtis is. But Finlay Curtis has got more heart in him. I think he's a blue nose. He knows where the goal is. I think he'd score more goals in a season playing in a Rangers team than what Scove Olsen would score for us. He scored a couple of nice goals for us, but it's still not enough. But listen, I'm not going to slate him. It might just be that the Scottish football doesn't suit him. And he'll not be the first player that's came out of Scotland and it's not really suited him. But whether we're right or wrong, only time will tell. He's still got a chance to go out and do something before the season's over. And if he can help contribute and get us a league title, then that's all we want. And then it'll be down to the management team to decide whether he's worth the money or an outlay for the next 3-4 years, and whether he would get any better. And only they know in the background what the problem's been. He didn't have a lot of football under his belt before he came, but you'd have thought by now he'd have been up to speed. So I don't know. Time will tell, but I'm hoping he'll have an impact or a bit to play before the end of the season. I think he will be still picked in the team. Heard the next player saying he wouldn't play him at the end of the season, so I don't know where he gets that from, because at the end of the day, you need all players to contribute. If he took a couple of injuries, you need players to come in and rely on them. So for me, he stays in the squad and hopefully he'll still contribute.
Aye, what? I know he's not played a lot of football before he joined us, mate, and I get the fact that he holds a position in that, but I get the fact that he's not really done a lot but kept the ball. I understand all that, but we were looking for a difference maker, and he doesn't look like it to me, Jim, does he?
Not at the moment, he's no. But as Southside said, and I've said it before and all, Scottish football's no for everybody. The bigger, the better players that we've got in other clubs as well, they've no fitted into the game in Scottish football. You're not going to get time on the ball here, which he was maybe privy to getting in these other leagues it was in, where the ball could get time on the ball. You'd get smashed here. They're hitting you, and that's what it's all about. No for everybody.
Same as World Cup refereeing, no for everybody, yeah. Scottish officials
You're
done
right,
well
it's not.
again there, Jim. Huh?
Ridiculous. All my pals are all, man, they're ridiculous.
Yeah, does neither of them get picked? No.
No.
It's a true saying, no, not one.
Doesn't surprise you, does it?
No.
No. Sad indictment, eh? A sad indictment of where we are. When the team used to qualify, we used to take some solace that when officials made it.
Aye. Oh, I think many years ago we used to have a few here and there dotted about, you know. Listen, you've seen the state of them. And we're getting Don Robertson on Sunday. Another idiot. You know.
Dominic the Donkey.
You just couldn't make it up, but we're going to have to put up with it in the next 4 or 5 games. So I say it, by the time we go to the Chamber of Secrets, it'll be Nick Walsh or it'll be Clancy. It'll be one or the other. I'm sure we'll get that game and the game at Hearts.
It could be the two of them, mate. One
Aye,
could be in
aye,
the
one
park,
at
one
bar.
in the box.
Aye, aye. You know, Frank Connor running up and down the line.
Right, come and join us. Give your thoughts. 0141 356 1972. We mentioned Scove Olsen, who's been shall we say, a target. John Souttar's had it tight as well because of his performance at the weekend. I think John, if I'm honest and have had time to reflect, I think he's a guy that looks void of confidence. The left back situation, Jim, young Magoma comes in. He's not been the biggest issue this season, but as always pointing out, he's just not got that physicality that maybe Romans has got.
No, I watched it pretty close at the weekend. Dundee United targeted them every time the game was stopped. I watched the goal from the back of the Copland Road. And I think it was a stop he said playing. He just kept on just playing the ball right down through him. But again, see on the Sutter thing at the weekend that how he was maybe brought back in again. Do you know? I think he was maybe brought in for the experience because of the big Fernandez. There obviously was an issue when he came back for his country coming back late, but I think John Souttar was put in there for a bit of experience at the weekend. With no Tav there. I thought that was the reason why he was brought in.
I never really thought of it for that. I just assumed it was brought in because of Big Fernandez's travelling and his exertions the previous week in international football. That was my thoughts on it, but you might have a point there, Jim. I've not really thought about it, Southside.
I just put it down to the travelling that they've done, and the manager alluded to it. May have been in his thoughts. Souttar should be able to come in and play anyway. He knows what the club's about. He's been here long enough, but something not right with the big man. He's just he's not as good, or he's not been as good as what Giga had been on the right hand side of the defence. And it's noticeable that we hadn't really been losing goals when Giga was in the team, and then you take him out of the team and we start to lose the odd goal here or there. He's too worried, probably busy worrying about the World Cup. That's my fear with some of the players that are on the squad. They'll start getting into 50-50 tackles and things like that because they want to go to the World Cup. It's a sad indictment, but it's a fact. It's in the back of their heads. Whether he gets picked to go or no, I don't know. I'd imagine he might sneak in the squad in the line with Raskins or someone who'll be more interested in worrying about going to play in the World Cup. It's one of the highest pinnacles of their career. winning a World Cup. So that's my worry when it comes into the old crunching tackles are flying in and that. It's whether they're going to have the heart and desire to go and put their foot in case they get an injury and they miss the World Cup. That's my fear with some of the one or two players that's in that squad already, playoffs, shooters in that category when he's on the park.
Yeah. He puts his body on the line. That's the way he plays. I don't think that his desires let us down, mate. It's just it's his skill level. You know, when I say that, I mean his defending skill. That was poor at the weekend. You know, and obviously you think back to some of the goals he's been on the pitch and we've lost, and you think, John, where were you? What you were doing? But I just think it looked Sunday's void of confidence. Maybe I've been too kind, Jim, but I've never had a real issue with Big Suter. I was reasonably happy when we signed him. I hope he would prove everybody wrong and come in and be good cover. I never thought that he should be my number one or number two. But he's had his chance in that position. The jersey was his, and he's lost it because of form. That's how we want Fernandes in the team. Nothing to do with John. It's just in the other people's form looks better.
You can look back at the Motherwell game, the Livingston game, the ones that's cost us when the game should have been out of sight. And even at the Celtic game and all, the 2 weeks game, it was a bit culpable and all about the goals we lost. It's not just a coincidence, it's him. I think his positional sense is ridiculous. I mean, again, I brought it up on the weekend. He's pushing the guy wide, then allows the ball to step back inside him, then doesn't it happen?
Yeah. That to me sometimes a confidence thing when you don't think as quick, mate. You know, and just oversimplifying it, Southside.
I think he's got a fear of players that play through the middle with pace. Sometimes his positional sense hasn't been good. Listen, he had a good block at the weekend where the boy was right in front of the net. He managed to put his body on the line. He's done it a couple of times in Europe and all this year. He's had put his body on the line, diving across the 6-yard line and that and putting blocks in. But I just think his confidence might have went a wee bit. We've only gave him a year's extension. That probably tells you something. And he might get more regular game time if maybe Giga doesn't, whether he goes back to Wolves and if Fernandes gets any interest in the summer and it's a big money move and we have to sell him, then obviously that puts John Suter back in the picture again, starting and getting some game time. Don't know what the script will be with Derek Cornelius. I don't know whether we'll take that option up or whether we'll have a try and get another bit of a loan move at it or whatever. I don't know. Because I thought he looked no too bad when he was moved about left back and centre back. I don't think he was the worst. But whether we take that option up or we have the option to maybe get him back in loan for a period of time or something, I don't know. But I'd like him to have probably stayed fit to see what he was about. You know, unfortunately, he took that injury and was out for quite a bit of time. He's another one, Ox, it's hard to judge and hard to make a decision on him now. So we're doing it at the club. I know we had the option to buy, but with the injury, carry on and been out that length of time, I don't know whether we will, or whether we'll try and see if we could even do another 6-month loan and interview to buy.
I don't think we'll see him in a Rangers jersey again, mate. There you go.
No, you don't know.
Well, he's a strange one. He's came back here and all of a sudden he's fit and away playing with his country. So why is he not playing for Rangers? I mean, he could have been an option to play at left back, as you said there, Southside. He didn't look too bad when he played there.
I just think there's a breakdown between the lines between him and the manager, mate. You know, and I don't think we'll see him again in a Rangers jersey. I really don't. Just my take on it, Southside.
Well, we'll never know. We'll wait and see.
Never say never. When we see Matondo up at Patodri, and they'll be fell off my sofa.
Listen, some players come back and reinvent themselves, do you know what I mean? But there's one or two when it gets to a point that there's just no way back for them. I just feel sorry for Cornelius because he came at the right age, you know, that he had the right experience. And it'd have been good to see him play more regular and see if he was the type of player we thought he might have been. But obviously injuries blighted it. So I don't know where the club will do or where we'll look at. It'll be interesting to find out. But listen, it's like anything. We took a couple of injuries. We just need to go on with it. Our forward-thinking players, and hopefully in the day he's only out for a week, 2 weeks, and then comes back. But our forward-thinking players in midfield to front look as if they're going to be all right. So, and are all right at the moment. So we need to hope that they all contribute. Big Chukwani managed to get himself on the score sheet, like you see him do it again a bit more often. Raskin can get on the score sheet and can contribute at times. I think he sat a bit too deep on the weekend there, taking the ball right off the centre backs. Don't know what that's all about, but that's what we were doing. So listen, we just need to keep winning knocks. That's what it's all about. No matter who's on the park, we just need to make sure that we get the game out of the line and we get the 3 points, pal.
I think they're asking dropping back into centre half position has been noticeable for the last few weeks. I would say Southside had noticed that game at the weekend there. And when he's been doing it, he's been creating a wee bit of an issue in the middle of the park where teams are actually getting on us in there.
I don't like when they come back and they play that deep. I think you end up with no midfield, mate. I think that's part of the problem with that two in the midfield, mate. And when one comes deep, there's no options in midfield, mate. I don't get it. Especially when you're meant to have guys that centre backs and meant to be ball playing. I just don't get it. You should be there to take the ball away from them, not right next to them. I just don't get it. You know,
well, look at their 2 goals at the weekend. Came right through the midfield.
Aye. And Raskin was in the picture for any of the 2 of them, was he?
Aye, and Big Chucky lost the ball twice, I think.
Aye, it was. Well, no, Mikey Moore gave it away, and the boy got the running.
Or was it Moore again? The one? Who was it? The second man? Was it Chucky the second man, or was it Moore?
I think it was Chuck Money. Yeah, thing back from memory. But we'll see. I thought he'd done okay. I think he'd done okay without being outstanding. It was a funny game, as I said. We won 4, we scored 4, lost a couple of goals. Yeah, give him a bit of credit for the goals, right? But they never done a lot. Well, I suppose they had the post and the block you talk about. They could have got another goal, but we could have scored 3 or 4 more. Could have, didn't they? And you're saying nobody played outstandingly well. But I still think our two best players were Derry 45 minutes and Gasman 45 minutes. You know, but I'm no care if we put all the performances and win every game to the end of the season. So we'll just no care.
I thought Sterling played no bad. He was up and down the. He was up and down the.
Without being outstanding.
Aye, it was, and like you say, Asgard contributed first half and all. He had a couple of nice bits of play. There's a couple of nice bits where he held the ball in and swept and spread it across the park, but no enough to say like you're totally in a game. Showing you can be the odd wee flash here or there. And I don't know what it is with him. We need to give him a shake, I think. But he also contributed in wee small spells in the first half. He obviously scores in the second half. But, and like you say, Sterling, I agree. The Dairy probably was the pick, sort of working hard. And even Magoma was getting up and down the park. But at times, he was getting isolated when the ball was earlier. There didn't have enough people coming out to sort of help him. But like you say, in another day, maybe for the 2 chances that fell to Chamiti, fell to Nadiri, if he'd been on the part of Majovski, they probably scored them, and it's a bigger scoreline. But it is what it is, and we are where we are. And we, like you say, we can critique it, but going forward, we've just got to look at this. We've just got to look at Sunday now and hope that all the rest of the players don't pick up any more injuries or anything like that, and we've got a full sort of squad to go with. And whoever he picks, hopefully Connor Barron will maybe a part to play later on as well. And as you said about Nico Raskin, he's not been great lately in form, has he? But he's in there with Chukwani, and they're trying to form a partnership together. And the big man could probably do a bit more as well, a wee bit more effort, a wee bit more off him. But
Get yourself a mute, lads.
So as
We're gonna have a tune.
See them march on, marching on through the years of history. Heads held on high, for the jersey they would do or die. Fight, fight for right, play the game with the badge of glory. Win, lose or draw, that's the Glasgow Rangers story. See them march on, banners high as they fly before you. Loyal and true, on the way to cheer the boys in blue. Follow they will, marching on to the songs of glory. Win, lose or draw, that's the Glasgow Rangers story. See them march on, banners high as they fly before you. Loyal and true, on the way to cheer the boys in blue. Follow they will, marching on to the songs of glory. Win, lose or draw, that's the Glasgow Rangers story.
While you are sitting listening on your own, why not take part and give us a phone? We would love to hear your points of view, so get off your bum and call 0141 356 1972.
Yes, a nice wee uplifting number there. Nice wee uplifting number. Right, so if we're assuming
This. The
Oh,
person you
well,
are calling is unable to take your call.
Romans in
Please
their
leave your
belly, are they
message
gonna
after the
play?
tone. To re-record your message, key hash at any time.
Oh, sorry about that. Calling onto the phone. I just think that most people will think that Fernandez come back in. Does that mean Suter comes out? In your eyes, Southside, then Jim.
aye, we've got to keep this team strong. Listen, the team's been playing well, and we've had Fernandez and Giga in the team. So I think the two of them comes back in. No, I think Fernandez comes in for Suter. I would anyway. I don't see why we shouldn't. We've got to keep the team as strong as possible. They've been playing well. We've got we've scored a lot of goals at Ibrox in the last few weeks. They two probably can try and keep the door shut at the back. We've got good height, good pace in there, and good height. So
The
you'd
person
like
you
to
are
think that
calling
you would keep the
is
two of them in
unable
the
to take
team
your
and bring them
call.
back,
Please leave your
just
message
to
after
save
the
any
tone. To re-record your
without
message,
keeping
key
Suter there.
hash at any time.
Does Suter deserve to keep his place? Probably no. So Fernandez was only left out just because maybe he's travelling and that. So no, I would probably just bring him back in and try and make sure that we can keep the back door shut and a clean sheet, Ox.
Jim?
I agree with Southside. I've just got a feeling that he might, again, the experience of Suter. I think he might keep him in there. Again, do I think he should? No, because to me, he looks all over the place now.
I went for Tar because we had to be offensive, but I did think that Sterling was one of our better players at the weekend. Without being outstanding, I thought he had a reasonable game. So, back four, Sterling, Fernandes, De Giga and Magoma. Yeah, we agree. Anybody see it differently?
Nah.
Nah, I'm just maybe overthinking again. Could you put Sterling to left back? But we tried him at Motherwell when it kind of the goal kind of came through that area, didn't it?
I don't know, mate. I blame where he is. As Magoma let us down, even at the weekend, all right, he wasn't great with the goal, the second goal. Could have maybe get back, but it wasn't him get bumped in the middle of the park. But young man's done all right, and obviously Romans has come in and has improved us as a team. But he's injured, so you've got to go with your next best left back, and that for me is Magoma, Southside.
Aye, if Romans isn't fit, he's got to play at left back. Dundee United try to target him, obviously, with two down that side, but nah, I would have him in the team for Sunday.
So midfield, how are you playing this, Jim? How you doing? How are you setting it up?
As a new, I would say I don't think he's going to change it anything because he tried and tested. He's going to go with him again.
Aye, but are you going to 4-2-2, the two up top? Or you
I think
the 4-2-3-1?
Romans, the big man, Nadiri, possibly. I don't know. I think he'll go back to the one again and maybe try to overwing the midfield with maybe Asgard or when we get into that position. But again, I don't know. Because I don't know if Jamaica and Rasket, what do you call them, the big, work together. The two.
Majowski.
And Majowski.
What are you thinking, Southside? What do you think he'll do? You think that Raskin and Chukwani are a certainty, big two.
Aye, they two are a certainty. I don't see them changing it. I don't see no other one you'd be changing it for. You'd be bringing in Conor Barron, and I don't see him doing that to start. So
Diamantes disappeared, didn't he?
Aye, and in the two, I don't see Diamande putting Chukwani out the team. He's no going to drop Raskin. I don't see Diamande coming in for Chukwani. I think he'll stick with the two of them now. I don't see him changing it. I think Diamande will be there. They'll maybe one of your first subs or second sub. It might come on because you can sort of more or less when you look at the bench, you can normally have an idea of who you think he's going to pick and bring on. And he has fell out the picture a wee bit, Diamande. But he'll probably have a part to play. And he should be a bit fresher when he comes back. He was also playing for Ivory Coast, wasn't he, against Scotland, although he didn't really travel that far.
Was he in the squad? Was he in the squad?
I'm sure he played the first half. So I was told. I never seen it, but I get told he played the first half.
I'm not sure it was him.
I don't think it was him.
Was it? No, well, I never watched it. I never seen it, but somebody told us he was playing.
Once you go to a burger joint, doesn't mean it's all the same family, mate. You know what I mean?
Well, a bit of a word with that. A bit of a word with that. One of your panel members, since he told me he was playing, I never seen the game. I never watched it. He said he played the first half, so that's what I took for it. But if he didn't, then he didn't.
Did he contact you when he was meant to be working?
No, it wasn't him. It was somebody else that was doing a bit of DIY.
He does need drugs tested.
He says to me he was playing. I went, all right. So
I don't even think he got a call up, mate. I don't think he was in the squad.
Did he? Well, I never watched him. I don't watch him. But I just get taken that he was playing the first half since he told me. That was how I said that. But if the information's wrong, I'll apologise, but you can blame him for it. since he passed it on. He will remain nameless. The listeners can guess. He's out the picture now. But aye, they two start. Mikey Moore starts, mate. I think Asgard will probably stay in the team and all. See, at the end of the day, Ox, we need a couple of players in the forward positions to try and create for the strikers. You know, and that's why I think maybe Asgard might keep his place along with Mikey Moore. You could argue whether Asgard should keep his place or no. People might think, well, no, put the Gasman in there, Gasmara in there. Or I've got a feeling Scove Olsen will probably start on Sunday. I know. I think he'll keep it pretty much where it's been. I don't think Gasman will come in and take his place. If Tav plays right back, then there's a chance that Gasmara will play, because I've told you before, he seems to play the two of them together. When Tav starts, he normally comes on and plays on the right-hand side. If you look back the amount of games it's been like that, he done it at Motherwell and all that, then he might put him in. But I think Scove Olsen will probably keep his place, whether he should or shouldn't is up for debate, but I think he might. If Nadiri might be the only change, they'll have to, and Majowski will come in for him, and I think the team might just stay the same as it was last week, apart from Shooter coming out and Fernandez coming in.
It was a O Diamande who played at centre back. Yeah.
Sorry?
The guy's initials was O, and he played at centre back for the Ivory Coast, yeah.
All right. I'll leave a word with him tomorrow. It's shocking.
Well, to be fair, he maybe read the right name in the back of the shirt, yeah. That's the only bit he's got right, yeah.
Aye.
But he's disappeared out of the picture. Right, I've got it slightly different. I think I agree with you. I don't know what you think, Jim. I think that both Chukwani and Raskin will start, yeah?
Aye.
Aye, and then you're into whether he goes the two up front, because that dictates for me. If he goes with Majowski and Chukwani, then you've got your two wide players. One of them's Mikey Moore. And on form, I didn't think I'd say this a couple of weeks ago, but on form, what we've seen, Gasman gets a start for me. Yeah, and I didn't want to see him on the right. I've said don't play him there. But he proved he could do it the weekend, Jim. He was, for me, he was our best player in the second half.
Aye, you're right. See on playing it. To me now, I don't think he's going to play Majowski and him up top, because to me it just looks what he's got coming off the bench if it's needed. Because the two of them are usually up to playing the 90 minutes, Majowski or Big Chamiti. So I think it'll be either or will start and the other one will be on the bench. I don't think there's any chance that they two will play. But again, maybe I'll be wrong, I'll put my hands up. But I don't think they'll play the two of them at the weekend anyway, together, to start with.
Aye, listen, he shocked us before. He shocked us with his team selection at the weekend. I think everybody assumed he was going to go with the two up front, and then Darderi tap himself with Asgard behind them. So I think it's a good thing. You don't know where the manager's going to do south side, if I'm honest.
Aye. Listen, I could see it, but I don't. I think Majowski's got to come in. I think you need to go for firepower. You need to make sure that we can get a result here. You could easily drop Scove Olsen, and that would be enough to find you a place for Majowski coming into the team. Asgard could go slightly to the right. Mikey Moore just gets his sort of free roll, sort of half the left, and just coming in and go and try and link the play. We've got a few options, but I think Majowski should start with Chamiti. I think we've got to put the pressure on them, and I think he's the way if Fenton falls round about for Majowski, if he can get himself free and the ball falls anywhere round about the area, there's a good chance he'll bury it. So I've got a feeling that he'll probably start him. Let's see, on the way there we'll find out 11:15 when the teams come out, but we could be wrong again, but I think we've got to keep the firepower on the part and keep
as many creative players on the park as we can. So Mikey Moore and Asgard, I think, will start. I don't see how they can start. I just think it's going to happen. I don't know why. I just get a feeling he's going to play the two of them, Moore and Asgard, for the start.
Aye, I get your rationale, mate. I get your rationale. Jim?
I thought the Asgard goal at the weekend there was fantastic. Look at the movement, the build-up to it, man. He played some football in the build-up to that goal. I think he could have had, he could have had maybe 2 or 3 at the weekend there. So he could have.
Aye, but we could have had that. I don't, the tap in, and then the tap in, he go, and then he's sitting with a break. You know?
Right.
But he's undoubtedly got technique. Don't think anybody would disagree with that Southside, even me, yeah. The boys got technique. You know, we've seen that goal he scored against Dundee United. We've seen the free kick. Who was it? Al in the cup. He came on and done it. I mean, it didn't matter who the opposition was. It was a wonderful free kick. Right? We've seen him do that. We've seen him come in and score headers. I think it was St Mirren, was it? Or Murrable during the break. He scored a header. You're thinking he was up and he showed his physique. But he's just not done consistent enough. And when he does score a goal, he's got a habit that he maybe doesn't appear in the game a lot. You know, and when he scored that goal against Dundee United that day, it was arguably the best goal of the season up until the overhead kick, right? But that day when he got that, he disappeared. And that's been my problem. He's no influenced games as much as we brought him into today. We brought him in to make, again, like Scove Olsen, different player, different position, but a difference maker, and he's not done it. But if he does it in the next 6 games, mate, I'll gladly buy him a pint outside.
He's not been consistently on it, but he has got good ability. He's too fitted. He's good awareness round about him. Doesn't always give the ball away. Not exactly the guy you can expect to go in and win a crunching tackle. I get that. Unfortunately, he get booked, I thought, at the weekend. Got glimpses.
For nothing I may add.
He showed glimpses, like you say, the goal against Dundee United, the free kick. He was on free kicks, I noticed, since Tav's not been in the team. He did hit the target on Saturday with one of them. And I think he's got the ability. He's certainly got ability. It's as if you've got to drag it out and give him a shake or something like that and say, come on, we need more out of you. You know, you've got the ability, you've got everything there in your locker. And where Olber was sitting, where Olber sits in the stadium, and he said he walked by that player before he had the shot, and that was going in the top corner. If a goalie doesn't get his hands, an outstretched hand here, the ball's in the top of the corner of that net, and it had been talked about what the goalie scored. So he's got it there. But for some reason, he's a bit laid back, and sometimes he picked the ball up and there, and then his first thought was when he got it, he passed it back the way again instead of maybe stopping, turning and going with the ball. I don't know whether he's got a future at Rangers or no. I don't know. We'll see come the end of the season. We paid a few quid for him. He did play off the striker at Luton when he was playing there, I believe. But he just needs to do a bit more, Ox. And hopefully he might contribute. He maybe gets an extra wee run in the team, because he's been in and out of the team and been took out the team. And now he's found himself back in the team, and like you say, he's had 2 goals on Saturday. He's got an assist, or was it 2 assists in a goal? So at the end of the day, he's contributed, but we need to get more out of him, Ox. You need to get more out of him, and he should be that type of player that goes and grabs the game by the scruff of the neck and wants to be on the ball and dictating it. But he's not been that player for us at the moment.
Aye, listen, he's had a lot of discussion on here, and I suppose I've been quite harsh on him, but you can only critique what you see, Jim.
I think it's looking very much like a confidence issue with the boy. So I felt at the weekend there, I thought he was getting into more dangerous positions. So he was at the weekend. That's how I think going with the ones up top. I think he could be the one just playing in behind Sharmiti. I think that's where you're going to get him. Again, that goal at the weekend, therefore, it was fantastic. The movement, the play, the interplay in between the players at the bottom, the 2 or 3 passes in the box, next minute, bump, goal. Fantastic goal. But I think it's a confidence thing with the boy.
I think you may be right. I think you might be right. I think you get too much confidence. If that makes sense sometimes. But I think
it looks like he's got a bit of swagger about him.
Aye. You know, I don't mean that in a nasty way. I just think sometimes he looks a bit. He wants to get involved and he thinks he's a better player than what he is. You've got to do the basics. You've got to do the hard stuff. You've got to run. There's times when you think he does the move, but he's definitely got technique, and that's maybe when his confidence comes from. He backs his own technique, but he does the basics right. You know? But hopefully he can make a difference in these 6 games, as we mentioned, Southside.
Well, you're looking for players that when they come in, they contribute. So if you look back at the weekend, he came back in against Aberdeen, didn't he? He got a chance to come back, and also he contributes, and that's what we're looking for. We've got 6 games. We've got to be positive about this and hope that they can start to get a wee tune out 1 or 2 of them that haven't just hit the ground running and they contribute. Mikey Moore's, you've got Danny Rowe, he's made Mikey Moore into a better player. He's given him a bit more consistency. We know he's a talented player. He's given him the confidence to go and express himself, and I think that's what he's trying to do with some of the players, and it's down to them to go out and express themselves. And Asgard's got a chance to do that, so hopefully he'll take it, Ox. But listen, we're in a right good spot now. We're really in a right good spot. Hearts are dropping the points, and we're the team that's probably in form in the last number of weeks. We've been picking up the results. We've got good momentum. We've got the striker now starting to score goals. Jimmy hopefully will start finding the back of the net. We're creating chances. We're getting a lot of players in the box to get a chance to score. We're using the wingers a bit more to put crosses in, and we can nitpick in 1 or 2 players in now that we're hoping to get a bit more out of, that haven't been doing the business as consistently as we hoped, or influencing games as we hoped they would do. So it's down to them when they're given a chance to do it. And as we said earlier, Gus Mara came on and he managed to influence the game for us at the weekend there with a second half performance. So hopefully they're all biting to get on the park and get starting, and hopefully they'll see this over the line, Ox, because for the start we had and where we were, and it'll be good for the club. It'll be a good feel factor. It'll be good for the Kavanagh coming in, the investment they've put in. We could probably get right into the Champions League if we can get a bit of luck. I don't follow the other teams in Europe, but I've seen a couple of things up. But just get the League One, and then we'll take our chances and see where we are. And if we can get into Champions League football, it's good. It's a good kudos for the board of directors, and I'm sure they'll not be shy in putting more money in and try to get us better players for the season coming up after that. So that's what's all there for us, and there for the team and the board. And I don't think they will be shy of putting more money in it if we can get into the Champions League.
See, like you were saying there about the sorry, big man, on you go.
On you go, Jim.
No, it was just a wee thing there. You're talking about the confidence thing here, Southside. I noticed the manager again at the end of the game, maybe gets Amma right out of him, Aaron Brownham, basically telling him that's what we want after you, that's what we want. Again, a confidence thing. He said a few notes, missed the penalty against that lot, and everybody getting on his back. Again, I've been one of his biggest critics, but again at the weekend there, things are getting to the fighting stage now. This is where we need them, opening up teams like he did against Hearts. I felt Saturday there, he was back to being showing us what he possibly could do early doors when he came in. So again, could be another one with a wee confidence thing, and hopefully it kind of works out for him and it works out for us.
Aye, when he came on the right, it gave me the fear at the weekend. He made me eat my words. And look, I always say on here, if you criticise, you've got to praise as well, Southside. You've got to be fair. Yeah, but I thought he had no bad game at the weekend. Bizarre. I think he might start. I think he might start on Sunday, Bizarre. But I didn't think.
Yeah, this is it. this is the trap you fall into, innit? So he played all right there. He come on, he done well, and he'll maybe start it. He might, and it might, and if he does, then he needs to pick up from where he left off. You can see the ability he's got in running, but it's a different part, different surface. He should be able to take to it, I think, but you never know. He's been decent there when he came on his impact. Maybe he's come on with a point to prove, and on the right hand side, and all. I thought, why do we not stick him on the left when he came on? But he done well on the right. And listen, it's just about winning games. It's just about winning, and it should be drummed into them all week. It's got to be. We've got to make sure that. It's just one of the things. But we've been gave a 12 o'clock kick off, so they have to get on with it and make sure that they get the job done. But apart from that, the only negative I've seen Sunday at the moment is just the fact it's 12 o'clock kick off. I feel as if we're in the right bit of form. We've got the right players on the park. We've got a bit of consistency. We know our strongest, roughly, what our strongest 11 is. And it's down to them to turn up on the day and make sure that they get that win for themselves, for the club and for the supporters. That's it. And then they can go to their wee jolly to Marbella and sit and go and play their bounce game over there and enjoy the sun and get a bit of training. And then when they come back, they've got to get the business done, starting on the 24th or 6th or 5th of April. When they come back, they need to make sure that we get that first win against Motherwell at Ibrox and then continue the momentum. And then batter Hearts at Tynecastle. And then we can look at it there and can we go to the Chamber of Secrets to even afford to take a point? At the worst, it might even be good enough to go up there and take a point and see which state they're in. But then, and if no, hopefully we can kill them off up there that day, and that ends their dream. So it's there for us, and it's there for the players, and it's there for us as a support to go and enjoy these games and look forward to them all. So there's no point worrying about them. We should be embracing them and hopefully looking towards a Rangers win.
I agree, Biggie, but I just think you're normal. Obviously, you get nervous in big games, yeah. Because you sort of always fear the worst. But our next two games are against Falkirk and Motherwell. We've got to put it in perspective. They've had good seasons, we know that. But we shouldn't fear them, Jim, yeah?
Like Glasgow Rangers, we shouldn't be fearing anybody.
Mr. Fox has got a different team. He's playing with three at the back. He's got Fernandes, Souter and Dajiga, Raskin in front, Gassama, Moore, Chukwueze and Olsen, and Chermiti and Majowski up front, Mr. Fox's team. Interesting. But right, listen, we're getting near the last half hour of the show. Let's hear from yous.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yes. Let's hear from you. Give your thoughts. Listen, I'm very optimistic, but I'm still nervous because I just want to. I think it's a natural reaction. You don't want to go overconfident. I don't think we should fear playing Falkirk, but I'm concerned about playing Falkirk and the plastic pitch. Has the plastic pitch got in my head? I suppose it has, Jim.
Big man, you're getting a line of that white flag, mate.
Oh, no. That's just nerves, mate. There's no negativity, mate. There's just realism, mate. Yeah.
Oh, see, by the way, I never picked on something you said earlier on there. I actually meant to mention it when you were going on about your glass half full. Then you were going on about a double. Does that mean your glass is full again?
I like a double. South side, I'll tell you that.
Aye. Listen,
I heard the two. He's up front, a double.
They've played well. We've got to give them a bit of credit. Falkirk have done well. They've come up and they've really done well, and they've nailed the top six. There's maybe not a lot of people would have thought they'd have done it. A lot of people might have thought they went back down because they were trying to play a different brand of football, and they might have came to teams and went away from home and shut up shop and played the back five and Hymede. But by all accounts, for what I've seen and heard and watched wee snippets of them, they've came and tried to play, and they've stuck to their philosophy. It's what got them there. So why really change it? If you can drill it into them, and he's obviously drilled it into their team. I mean, he took a boy for Cumbernauld Colts, and he's made them into a regular player at Falkirk. So it's how you coach them and how their understanding of the game and how you drill the system. And if you drill the system good enough, boys might react to it, and then they play with that confidence. So they will probably want to play. Why would they know they're in the top six? They've got a free hit against us on Sunday. And they'll probably go out and try and play relaxed football. The pressure is on us. We're going there. We need to keep the momentum going. We're fighting for a league title. So they'll probably go out and play relaxed, and by all accounts they've got some tidy wee players, and Barney Stewart up front scoring goals and playing well for them. But listen, it shouldn't matter. We can talk them up and say they've done this and done that, but we're the bigger club. We've spent a lot more money. We're going there and we've got the better players, and there should be no excuse. The only leveler is the plastic pitch. The ball doesn't bounce great. You don't see many sliding tackles. Players hold back at certain things. It'll suit Falkirk more than it'll suit us, because we don't like the plastic pitches and the ones that we've played on. We can tell them, we can see it other seasons. But apart from that, you've got to go out and make sure you grind out a victory. No matter how you do it, we need to go out and ground it out. If it takes set pieces against them to undo them, then fine. But I think St Mirren went through there just not long ago and battered them. So they can be beat at the Rhine Run. They're no unbeatable. They're a tidy team. They've been a decent team. They've had a good season. But that's it. We've got to look forward to Sunday and say, right, well, it's business end now. And we're coming here. We've got a better team with a better squad. And we'll show you that we've got a better team, the better squad, and we'll get the victory, and we'll go up the road back down the motorway with 3 points in the back. That's what matters.
Aye, that is all that matters, And by the way, they're arguably one of the stories of the season, Falkirk. But listen, I'm not taking anything away from him. I think he's done a fantastic job. The players are a lot of young, vibrant talent, and fair play to them. They try and play football the right way. I don't like their pitch, mate. That's my concern. I don't think it's good for the game in Scotland. Yeah, I think that might be worth 10 points to them over the season, if I'm honest, Jim. Yeah.
It's not the best. I've played in it with a fit team. So they've used it a couple of times. I've been up there. I would say it's better than Livingston's. Damn sight better than Livingston's one. But it's not the natural surface.
I shouldn't argument, Jim, because it's not been worth 10 points to Livingston this season, has it?
I know.
Livingston's surface isn't great. But listen, Falkirk's they're a tidy team. Maybe boy Spencer, John Spencer's boys know a bad wee player in the middle of the park. Like you said, their strikers playing well. We've got a rotten goalkeeper. I've got a couple of boys in central defence that have showed up no bad for them. And they'll play without any pressure on Sunday. The pressure's on us, and so it should be. We're Rangers, and we need to win every game, and that's what we're trying to do. So we just have to go and make sure that we do it. And for the support we've got, I'm sure we'll be loud and proud on Sunday behind that goal, and hopefully roll the team to victory. And then, like I say, we'll be back at Ibrox 2 weeks later for the final count, for the final showdowns. Motherwell poses a problem when we get there. So, but Falkirk stand in their way at the moment, Ox, and we just need to dispatch them out the road.
They're talking about us in a big game, and I looked at the fixtures. Obviously, Motherwell go to Hearts at the weekend, mate. Motherwell need to keep winning, or Hibs could go buy them for the European place. Yeah, their players are building big bonuses to get into Europe, so nothing's a given. Nothing's a given against Motherwell or Hibs. People are, everybody's saying that no, everybody's going to take this points, that points. The two teams could have a big influence on how this is going to pan out, Jim.
At big time, you're even over the Chamber of Secrets or not, by the way. So they're in there fighting for their life. I know they got a great result against Aberdeen at the weekend, yeah, but they're doing in that dogfight. So they'll not be going there rumbling early to get their tummies tickled either.
Hopefully, mate. Hopefully. So it's up to us to do the business. But what I'm saying is the fixtures on these cut and dry, and that's a good point you also make there, Jim, is people making out Southside there.
No, Motherwell just hit that wee sort of dip where they've been playing well. They had been on a good run for them, and then it's like anything. I said one here a wee while back, and I said it when I think the boy Josh was on. I think if I remember, he was going about Hearts will not lose 3 games. Hearts will not, but didn't have to lose 3 games. You could draw a couple. But they've drew a couple. Kilmarnock beat them, and then obviously Livingston's took something after them. Motherwell, first team to beat them a few weeks ago was Dundee. And then Falkirk went there last week and beat them in the rain run. So they've took a wee dip in for them, but obviously they're playing Hearts. It'll be a good game. I don't know, is Motherwell at home? Are they at home? Is Hearts away at the weekend? Hearts are at home, are they? So Motherwell got a point to prove there, and hopefully they'll want to pick up their form. And obviously, I think Hibs are playing Aberdeen, so that could go anyway. Probably, probably be a draw, I would imagine. But Aberdeen are doing their fighting and on there. St Mirren beat them last week, so they're in the dogfight down the bottom of the league, But Hearts is the one. The pressure's on them. They're at home. If Motherwell could take something off them and we do the business on the Sunday, then that just puts us in top of the league no matter what happens anywhere else. We'll be top of that league, and then we'll see what happens. But I'd hope Motherwell can put a fight up against Hearts, and even if we take a point off them at the worst, it'll help our cause, Ox, going into the Sunday game.
Aye. But we'll see what it takes us. I know what you're saying. You're looking for a favour for other teams to help our position. But it's in our hands, we've got to do it. And anything like that is a bonus. But I get your rationale, Jim. But time for heroes, Jim, innit? Time for heroes.
Oh, big time, right? Big time for the old heroes, the old teddy bears. When you go,
Time for heroes. And who would you tip to be the heroes, Jim?
Yeah. I think any of them, I don't care who it is. We'll all be heroes, man, if we do this, I'm telling you, man. I don't know. The specific person, but I think you all need to know that that's what they could end up being as heroes.
Aye. See, when we started talking about the team there, Southside, we're talking about rationale, we still haven't got a lot of depth, have we? We think we have, but we haven't there. Disappeared. Our Jammies disappeared, yeah.
The Jammies disappeared right out of the picture. Another one. I mean, he's going to go and play in the World Cup, and he's got a wee bit about him that for some reason the manager just doesn't fancy him. He's not making into the squads at all. Don't know why. He's maybe no featuring or maybe forcing his way in, even onto the bench at times. But for some reason he isn't. He's no one that he's really wanting to rely on. You can see the sort of squad, the way it's shaped. It seems to be where it is now, is where it's going to be towards the end of the season. Suppose if we take an injury up front, then we've only got Majowski and Chimity that would have to go with if Nadiri was out for a few weeks. Obviously left back, same again. We've only got Magoma. He can come in and sort of play left back. He could move one or two players, but to keep it as strong as we can, and obviously he's there. Midfield, you've got one or two you could maybe change, but same again, Diamondi and Barron. But I think they two, the new Chukwani and Raskins, go to jerseys in the system that we're sort of playing. And out wide, we're probably lacking a wee bit in the wingers sides there, probably, at the moment. But listen, the squad were never good enough at the start of the season to fight in all four fronts, as I said. They weren't equipped enough to do it. But listen, we've only got one thing to go for, and it's there in front of us. And as long as we keep winning our games, we'll win the league, and that's what matters now. Danny Rowe's done a fantastic job to get us back in. We've been helped. Hearts had a rubbish batter for him, and they employed an idiot up the other end, which isn't our problem. Have let us back into it, and we've fought our way back into it. Because we might have been a bit still looking for the outside, but it happens in football, and we've got ourselves into this position. So we've got ourselves into a position now where we can actually win it off our own back. We don't need to rely on anybody. We can win it actually ourselves, do the damage against Hearts, do the damage against that mob across the city, and just win the rest of your games, and that's what matters. Take out the two closest to you, and then that's it. Hibs and Hearts have got Hibs to play and all. They'll not want to give them anything easy. They'll not want to see Hearts win a league title, will they? So they'll be fighting to make sure that they can do some damage against them. So it's a lot of football to be played. And Hearts should be worried because they're the ones that have flung away a big lead. And we're right behind them, mate. Hoping that by the time we get to next week, we'll be top of that table, and that's a good incentive as any to kick on and go and make sure you can win this league.
Aye. It's going to be exciting, Jim. Hold on to your hat, mate.
Right. See the two away games. Where is it he go to? Did he go to Motherwell and go to Hibs?
Yes.
Again, as you were saying there, highlighted their south side. They two have got European aspirations here. So they'll not be easy rollovers, I don't think, for them. So that's how everybody's shouting about that. We'll know this or that. I think the rest of them just need to concentrate on their end games and all, instead of watching us, because I've said it. We won our next four, we'll be champions.
I hope you're right, mate. I hope you're right. But we've got to start in Falkirk away, mate, and win. And hopefully put them in the sword with a good performance and score a few goals, you know, and put that goal difference that it's worth an extra point to us, which could be decisive, depending on how it goes. Anyway, we've been joined by Bob Ger. Evening, Bob Ger.
Good evening, everyone. How you doing?
What a better
Evening, Bob.
Oh, tell you, that's colder than a lawyer's letter out here tonight. I'm just looking forward to the game of the weekend. And I'll say to all you Rangers fans out there, if you're going to go to that place, and if you're lucky enough to get a ticket, leave very, very early. Because they've dug that road up earlier, and it's a nightmare. And if you're going to come to the west, leave very, very early. Because it's a bit of an awkward place to get to these days, because it's an access to the kelpies they're digging up. So there's a bit of help to the support of any that will got a ticket. I hope this is the Rangers injury junk cutting in again, guys. Has anybody heard any more about the boy?
We're hoping it's more positive than some of the media outlets are making it, mate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're hoping we might miss the one game, mate.
Aye. Oh, well, I mean, after this game, we've got a fortnight's break, haven't we?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, well, that's not so bad then. And I'm just hoping it's not too bad. You can these people can overrate things, Oxy. I'm hoping on this occasion that they have, because we're going to need everybody fit for this running. You do notice, I'm not being paranoid here, they have made it as difficult as they could for us. We have Swan being the Celtic and like, but then again, I shouldn't have moaned too much because we're going to play them all anyway. So get the sleeve rolled up and do our best. And I'm looking forward to Sunday before we start the split. Is there any more news on the Rangers? No.
No, it's
Nah,
been quiet.
everything all quiet.
It's been quiet, mate. Obviously, we can get the press conferences tomorrow, and we'll see what
Nah, we'll
Danny's
get the
got.
build up at the weekend, aye.
Take
Oh.
it through there, mate. Yeah.
There we go. We're just going to keep on running. Simple as. And I think we can do this on Sunday. I think we'll be too strong for them. So let's hope so.
We're in a better place and we're a better team than the last time we played Falkirk at Ibrox and when we played them there, south side there.
Aye, 100%. Better momentum, scoring goals, different system. And as we said, Falkirk have been tidy. I've got to give them a bit of credit. They've done well this year. There's probably some good players, some average players, but are playing well in the system that he's drilled. And he's done well with them. So we've got to give them credit for that. And they've come up for promotion and they're finishing the top 6. So you look at it that way, they've done really well. But it's all about us on Sunday. As Bob Chair says, we're going there and we need to win. And I expect us to do it on Sunday. We can talk about it being tricky. We can give Falkirk credit. We've got the better team with a better squad of players, and we've just got to make sure that they go. And it's down to the players to prove it on the day. They're the ones that have got to make sure they get the win. Danny Rowe will set them up. Pick the right team, I would imagine, and it's down to the players to go out and do the business. And like I say, there isn't really a lot of pressure on Falkirk because they've qualified. The pressure's all on us, and so it should be. It's the way you should be playing your games of football when you're a Rangers Football Club. You play with pressure. So we need to make sure that we handle it and do the business on Sunday. And I expect us to do so, Bob Chair.
You're right enough, South said we were under severe pressure when we played them earlier on in the season, when Majorski scored, by the way. And that was Russell Martin's day. That was his final game in charge. But you say the circumstances have changed. We'll go bigger, we'll go better, we'll go stronger. We're only 1 point off the top of that league. Different days now, and I do think, I'm not being complacent or anything, but I do think we'll be too strong for them Sunday. As you say, there isn't any pressure on them. They've achieved their goal. Mind you, they could possibly get European football if they do well. Falkirk, that's unimaginable, that. I mean, Europe, but strange things have happened. I think we'll go out here on the Sunday, and I hope for a convincing win. I do. And that's no being complacent. We'll have to win anyway. We'll go to keep on going. So, like I say, mind leave early, guys, if you've got a ticket for that game.
Leave any early,
Okay.
I believe, on a Saturday night.
Well, being a local, I've got relatives earlier in the north, a nightmare. So, I know there's no doubt. When you go out.
Jim, in you come, mate.
I agree with what the big man saying there regarding the traffic and all that carry on. I'm saying I've been up there recently with the pit team. It's a pretty dangerous kind of area now, traffic wise. I don't think there's much kind of pedestrian kind of movement round about it. So just be careful when you're getting up there. I know you're going to the south side, but we'll go up there. And again, I don't think it's due to complacency. We need to be showing a level of confidence now. If we have any aspirations about winning this league, we just need to go there, turn up, and get the points, and get back down the road again.
Aye. It sounds simple, Jimmy.
Aye, well, we've been saying are we back in the early days of the season, big man, yourself was saying me, it was an easy game. It is an easy game. When you're on your game and you're putting the ball in the back of the net, it becomes a lot easier.
Aye. Confidence is a big factor, especially at the top level, you know. And you look at it, how quickly teams can unfold when you don't get confidence. Maybe not having a go, but look at the Liverpool side. The money they spent in the summer and the confidence is waned with their team. I know they're playing the team they're playing last night, arguably for some team, the best team in Europe at the moment. But however, it just shows you money means it doesn't guarantee success, does it? You spend all that money and you don't get the right fit and you don't get players lose confidence. It can happen to any team at any level, Southside, can it?
Aye, certainly can. I've not really followed much of Liverpool lately, but I've seen a couple of the results. Like I say, could be loads of reasons why, but if you're not playing with confidence, that can affect the team, and changes in personnel, injuries, suspensions and all that all usually contribute, but there's been a wee drop off for them, for what I've noticed. But listen, we don't actually mention that. I know we're going to have sort of topic quickly, but when you see the price of your season tickets and the price are going up, do you think we're going to get to a ceiling, Ox, where we're getting to a point for what we watch in the league and the way it's structured, that there's not going to be much room, much more for scope for hitting the bears with hefty prices for Ibrox these days, for some of the prices that some of the guys have been up to there lately? It's quite a wee bit of a hike for some. No, well over £1,000 now. If you forget the hospitality mob and that, just talk about sitting round about Ibrox for what we're watching. You're getting 18 league games, so you got to take into consideration the paying for your cup games and all that. There's going to become a ceiling prices, I know, at some point, and shortly, where people will be saying, well, can you really put it up much more than what you're doing?
Get close to that now, mate. Get close to that now. I see you've got campaigns in England when they're saying enough's enough, about ticket prices and that. It shouldn't be unaffordable to people. Football. The bottom line, mate, all levels of the top of the game are paying players far too much money, so they need the revenue in. And other clubs, and is the game better for it? I don't know if it is, mate. I really don't know if it is. But I take your point. You're paying, a lot of people are paying £50 a game, and that's a single seat. If they've got a family and take kids with them, it's obviously a lot more. It's all coming out of one household, maybe, and the problem is, mate, you're watching the same movie. You're watching, you're buying it from maybe the big games, but you're still having to watch Livingston at Ibrox and Mull at Ibrox, sometimes in the pits of winter, and people are getting value for money. If we win the league this year, they'll say they've had value for money. If we don't, they might look at things differently. Southside, yeah. I mean, my record at Ibrox is all right, but the first, say, quarter towards half of the season, we weren't great. Since arguably the turn of the year, our performances have been all right at Ibrox, and some of the games have been entertaining, and we maybe blew a couple that we should have won. We won in positions and dominating a game and not putting the ball in the back of the net, which could have made the season a lot better. But one of them, you had to pay up above and beyond your season ticket. And I do think there is a ceiling, and I do think obviously things are going to get tighter as expenses go up for people, particularly what's happening in the world tonight. I don't want to go on about economics. We went on about society last night, but I don't disagree with your point. Eventually, you're going to hit a ceiling, mate, where a lot of people are going to be priced out, and that'll be a sad day that people maybe went for a long time just can't afford it anymore because of the circumstances, and we're close to that ceiling, mate. You've got to be.
I think we must be very close to it. See when you look at it again as well, your add-ons of your season ticket, you must, Southside, yourself, and I know me and my daughter, you must have bought an extra season ticket easily with the money you've had to fork out for friendlies, cup ties, and then European packages. You must be close to buying 2 season tickets.
We had another 4 European games, say averaging £40 a seat. That's 160. How many cup ties at Ibrox? 1, 2, 3, 4 this season. Say £35 average. Say another 140. That's £300 on top of a season ticket, mate. Yeah. Then add the friendlies.
A lot of money.
Would we have
Friendlies.
two friendlies, and then
£50 for Celtic.
European qualifiers, 2 friendlies,
Easy.
2 European qualifiers, another say £200, mate. So there you go, £500.
Aye, plus for Celtic, I know, £50.
Aye. I get it, mate. I get it. Yeah.
And then you fling in your away tickets into that, and all that you're contributing to, for the games.
In your
I'm trying to remember. Aye. But I just think for what we get in Scottish football and that, and the price is going up and up and everything's
Kick-off
happening in the
times.
world.
Kick-off time.
Kick-off times don't suit everybody, I know, aye. I just think we're getting to that ceiling price now, I think, for some people. We're talking about it there at the weekend, and talking to the boys on the boot, as we're saying, there's a few of them are getting their concession tickets and that beside us and stuff, but they're all renewing about me, but they're saying like it's getting a bit dearer now, you know, it's getting a bit dearer each season for what we're watching, although you want to go, but as they say, other things are happening about the world. Things are going up. Look at the price of petrol and all that, you know, for Pete's sake, and fuel, do you know what I mean, and everything else that's happening. So, no, just something that came into my head. I thought we might bring it up earlier when we're doing the show, but just to see what people thought. But I think for a lot of people, it's starting to get to that point soon. I think Rangers will struggle to be putting a lot on. And even some of the corporate prices that they hit out with. I was talking to a boy and I don't know if I remember I spoke to you half air, Ox, and I told you the price that he wanted, and the guy turned around, his words to the boy at Rangers was, I'm not watching Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? When he gave me his price for one of the Europa League boxes, Europa Lounge, and the hospitality. So it was a fair increase and all, you know, and money-wise. So I think unless they start building the ground a bit bigger in time, over the next few years, I think for a lot of people in the stadium for what we pay and what we've got to pay for the cup games and everything else, I think they're getting to the ceiling point shortly.
Aye, and I know there's clubs in England with 2 season tickets. There is clubs in England who have domestic season tickets and European season tickets. You know, and listen, you want as many people to want to go, but you don't want people not be able to go because it's been took away from them because it's too expensive. You know, but everybody's got a tipping point, you know, depending. And obviously that'll be different for different people, depending on how much disposable income you've got and maybe where you sit in life. If you're starting out and you've got 2 young family, or let's just say hypothetically, you've got 2 daughters that want to give birth in the same week, and you've got all that expense. You know, that wouldn't happen to anybody we know, would it?
No, I've been wrapped into buying a season ticket for. What my 2 season tickets?
That wouldn't happen to anybody we know, you know. But when you're in life, people, and if interest rates go up and people have less cash because they've got to look after their house, I understand it all, mate. And I get it. It's all right if you've got the money and you can afford it. You think, oh, it's not an issue, but that's only because you can afford it. It doesn't make it right. But it's a loyalty thing, and they're always playing that loyalty, Bob Jarrett.
Is that me you're shouting on, Ox?
They'll always play in that loyalty. Yeah?
No, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, if we all can, to state the obvious, Rangers are a massive club, they're a massive support, and we want to reach, a massive level, why not? And the club will turn around and tell you itself, as you well know, that if you're wanting a team on the park, you're going to pay for it. David Murray tells us that. And I'm afraid that's just the way it is. But the football supporter, who predominantly is the ordinary bloke with the family, he's got the big choice of, he can walk with his feet. So there is going to be a saturation point, a ceiling, where they're going to say, look, enough's enough. Okay, you're going to hate your fight, you're always going to hate your fight, you get into watch your team, but nah, they're not squeezing the lemon dry. They're going to come to an agreement with the supporters of this sometime. Whether it's an enlargement of the stadium, I don't know. They can't do the day. It can't be easy because it's an expensive thing to do to run a football club, especially the level we're at. There's no easy answer there. We'll just have to wait to see what the coming seasons bring. Well, people can afford that fine because as Southside says here, as we all know, what's going on in the world at the moment is no fun. We're all going to have to take a bite here and endure it. Football supporter, unfortunately, football's part of life. And that's it. I think I put it in a nutshell there. It's no easy running a gigantic football club. There's more clubs than Rangers. The whole football world's suffering for this. You've seen Chelsea's figures there. See their economic figures for the year. It's frightening. We didn't want to fall into that trap again. God knows his club's been in enough trouble with finance. So, hey ho, just hope it all works out for the best, eh?
Aye. I know what I would do. I would just want a bigger donation for the away tickets to subsidise Ibrox. That's what I would do. Yeah. No. The answer there. Anyway, Bob J, cheers, brother. Speak to you soon, mate. You take it easy, yeah?
Pleasure as always, Ox. Good night, lads. We'll catch you all later, eh?
Hey, Bob.
Last
Bye-bye.
See you
word,
later, Bob Joe.
last word for your good self, Jim.
Thanks very much for allowing me to participate tonight. Sorry about the other night there, but needs must. Hopefully, I'll get back on again next week.
Cheers, brother. Cheers, mate. I think you can make a few quid with the flags, mate.
Sorry? Aye. I can. I'll make a few bob out of, by the way. In June, I'll make a few bob out the Crimson ones.
Cheers,
I
mate.
shouldn't really
Thanks.
say that because that Crimson Heart's maroon, isn't it?
Southside.
Aye, good night as always, mate. Good to be on with Jim. Your good self. I'd say thanks to everybody in the YouTube feed that have been on the show tonight and listening in. I'd like to thank them as always for joining in, because they're always on there, mate. Always the same names that come up and follow the show. So I'd like to thank them as always for being loyal to Rangers Radio and listening to the show. Well, as Bob J says, 10:15, we're off skiing Sunday. You see the greatest team in the world, and hopefully we'll pick up the 3 points, and then we'll get a wee break the following week, and then be back to Ibrox loud and proud against Motherwell. Look forward to that. So, aye, just got to believe, mate. We've got to know this is our league, it's our city, and it's our town, it's our country, man. It's time to do this and put Rangers back on the map, mate, and get us back to being league champions. It's there, and hopefully the team will do it, and Danny Roll can become a hero along with these players. It's there in front of them, mate. So let's hope that we do it. It's there for us, and why no? We've got to believe we can do it, and we're good enough to do it. Pick them off one at a time, and hopefully have a glory night at Ibrox or a glory day up at Torbert Towers. Whatever happens first, it doesn't matter. As long as we get that league flag win, man, it's coming home. That's what matters, Ox. So thanks for having us on as always.
Here. One at a time, mate. One at a time. Starts on Sunday. Get there early. Thanks to Bob J, Jim joining us, and of course my mate Southside, Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, and we'll also have Southside Super 6 as a popular feature. Take it away, Old School Blue.